The applause was still echoing when she said it. "My real dad will walk me down the aisle, not you." Her voice was steady. Mine wasn't, because I didn't have one left. The music drowned everything else. The whispering guests, the tremor in my hands, the years I'd spent stitching a broken life together. 15 years of single fatherhood compressed into that one sentence. Real dad. The words cut sharper than betrayal ever could, because they came from her. I didn't look at my ex-wife, though I felt her presence. 2 rows behind me, dressed in white like she'd earned redemption. Her husband beside her, the man I'd seen once, briefly, at the courthouse when she'd chosen a new life over ours. The man now walking my daughter down the aisle. I sat back, expression frozen. Applause swelled again as they reached the altar. My daughter smiled, radiant, unaware that her every step was carving something out of me I didn't know was still alive. When I left the ceremony early, no one noticed. Not her, not her mother. Only the silence did. And the package waiting on my porch when I got home. Unmarked, old cardboard, edges frayed like it had been waiting a long time. Inside, her childhood diary, and a folded note in her handwriting. "Dad, read page 47 before you judge me." It took me hours to open it. The diary felt fragile, like memory itself might crumble if I turned the pages too fast. The pink cover was faded, the edges worn. I remembered buying it for her, birthday number 10. She'd written in it every night until the day her mother left. Then, she'd stopped. For years it sat on a shelf in her room, untouched. I'd never read it, not once. Now, I had permission. I turned the pages slowly. Her childish handwriting, uneven letters, hearts drawn in the margins. Notes about school, her friends, the dog we used to have. Then, around page 40, her tone changed. "Mom cried again today. She said she wants to go find herself. Dad doesn't know. I think she's lying to him." My breath stopped. I turned to page 47. The ink was darker, like she'd pressed harder that night. I saw Mom kissing Uncle Ryan. She told me not to tell Dad. She said Dad wouldn't understand. I don't understand either. Why would she kiss Uncle Ryan? Uncle Ryan? My brother. The air thickened. She was 10. She saw what I never did. And all those years later, she'd still chosen him. The man her mother built a life with after leaving me. Only now it wasn't Ryan walking her down the aisle. It was him, the real dad. The man she'd always believed was a stranger. I didn't sleep that night. The house felt hollow. Every photo, every memory was a question I'd never asked. I made coffee I didn't drink. The diary sat on the table open to that single page. I started checking old records, birth certificates, hospital forms, her blood type, mine, my ex-wife's. None of it added up. A thought I'd buried years ago began to surface. The way her mother had avoided my eyes the day our daughter was born. The faint discomfort when someone said, "She looks just like you." I ordered a DNA test, quietly. Sent in my sample using the comb I'd kept in the bathroom drawer, still with strands of my daughter's hair from when she was 16. She'd hated haircuts. The results came a week later. They didn't lie. Probability of paternity, 0.00%. I stared at the paper until my eyes blurred. 15 years of birthdays, scraped knees, bedtime stories, all rewritten in a single line of text. I didn't call anyone, didn't confront her, didn't drink, though every cell in me wanted to. I just sat there. When you spend years building your life on love, betrayal doesn't sound like thunder. It sounds like silence. My ex-wife had remarried Ryan 5 years after leaving me. The timing fit too neatly. But there was something else. The diary's final pages were newer, ink that hadn't aged like the rest. Added recently. I turned to the end, and her handwriting was shakier now, older. If you're reading this, it means you finally know. But please read everything before you decide what to do." I flipped to the next page. Mom lied to me too. When I was 15, I found a letter from Mom to Ryan. She said she'd told me you weren't my real dad because she was afraid I'd love you more than her. She said she wanted me to hate you enough to stay away after she left. My fingers tightened around the paper. She made me believe Ryan was my father. She even made me call him Dad when you weren't around. But when I turned 18, Ryan told me the truth. He said I was yours, that Mom had used you to punish you. The room tilted. 15 years of guilt and silence, manufactured. The truth was worse than betrayal. It was weaponized love. "I didn't tell you because I didn't want to ruin your peace. I thought I could carry it. But at the wedding, when I saw her smiling, I couldn't do it anymore. I wanted to hurt her. I wanted her to see what she'd made me." I read the final entry twice. "I said he was my real dad so she'd feel what you felt, so she'd know how it feels to be erased. I knew it would break you too. I'm sorry, but now you know why. Read the last page." The last page wasn't written in her handwriting. It was a printed letter, folded neatly, signed by my ex-wife. "If you've come this far, you know everything. You were never supposed to find out. I didn't think you'd still care enough to look. I told her the truth when she was 10. I made her promise not to tell you, because you didn't deserve to know. You loved too easily. You forgave too quickly. That made you weak. Weak." The words settled in like frost. I didn't call her. I didn't visit. Instead, I made copies of the DNA test, the diary pages, and her letter. I placed them all in a new box, addressed it to her home. No note, no signature. 2 days later, she called. I didn't answer. The following morning, she showed up at my door. No makeup, no mask, just her face, aged by fear. "I didn't," she started. I handed her the empty envelope the diary came in. "Keep your lies in there," I said. Her voice cracked. "You don't understand." "I do." She waited for me to explode. I didn't. I just watched her realize that silence was the cruelest punishment. Her tears came quickly, desperate, useless. "I lost you," she whispered. "You lost me 15 years ago," I said quietly. "You just didn't notice." She broke down. I closed the door. Outside, the wind howled against the windows. For the first time in years, the house didn't echo with emptiness. It felt still. I burned the diary that night. Not out of anger, out of finality. The flames turned pink paper to ash in seconds. Each page curling like memory releasing itself from flesh. I kept one thing, the note she'd written on top. "Dad, read page 47 before you judge me." I didn't judge her. I couldn't. She was a child forged in someone else's war. At her wedding, when she'd called another man her real dad, she hadn't betrayed me. She'd avenged me in the only way she knew how, by making her mother feel what I once did. The truth didn't heal me. It didn't have to. It just made everything clear. I wasn't the father who lost his daughter. I was the man who raised her to see through lies. And in the end, that was enough. The fire dimmed. The ashes settled. 15 years of confusion turned into one truth that didn't need forgiveness. I didn't need to say goodbye, because I already had. Final line. Some truths don't set you free. They just stop you from bleeding.